Alright everybody, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, I'm going to sell you on this movie. Today we're taking a look at The Wolf of Wall Street, and I'm going to sell you on this movie. This movie, it's... You know what? You have some free time? You have some free time you want to fill some it up with? I got a movie for you. There you go. There you go. I sold you on this movie. I'm not as good as Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie, but I tried my best. I probably wouldn't make it into his team without his education. But you got to make scarcity. This movie isn't actually available all that much. It's very hard to find. It's only available in 2 places. So, you got to go check it out, and you don't know how long it's going to be on these 2 places for. So this is The Wolf of Wall Street. It is a 3-hour-long movie. That is right, it's 3 hours long, so it's a big-ass movie. And without any further delay, let's get into what Google has to say. It came out in 2013, same year as the movie we took a look at a couple of days ago, also with Leonardo DiCaprio. We're taking a look at a little bit of a Leonardo DiCaprio sort of fit here. And it's also got Margot Robbie. Again, we've taken a look at a load of her movies recently with Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad. We also took a look at Barbie and Focus. But it has a 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb, an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 4.6 out of 5 on Amazon, and it is introduced to a life in the fast lane through stockbroking. Jordan takes a hit after the Wall Street crash and teams up with Donnie Azoff, cheating his way to the top of the relationship slide. So you can watch this on Now TV and also Amazon Prime. So, this is the second movie. Leonardo DiCaprio is a fucking rich, very rich person who cheats his way to the top. You know what? That's 3. That is 3 fucking movies. It is the one Catch Me If You Can, it is Wolf of Wall Street, and also The Great Gatsby. He cheats his way to the top, and he ends up being super fucking rich in a penthouse wearing a suit in all 3 of these movies, and they came out in the same 2 fucking years. We have one coming out in 2012, and the other 2 coming out in 2013. He is just living life in the fast lane in these movies. However, the actual story is he's a broke boy moving into New York looking for something. He goes to Wall Street, and he gets a job. Same month, Wall Street crashes and New York shits him back out. So he starts stockbroking again, and he makes millions. He built his own company from the ground up, and he hires all of his good mates. He trains them. They get high places. They buy an office. They expand. They grow bigger. They expand. They grow bigger. He divorces his current wife and marries Margot Robbie. He then proceeds to have 2 children with Margot Robbie whilst still sleeping with other women. And also doing a lot of flour, sugar, devil's powder. I don't know what it is actually called. I can't think of another name for it. He does a lot of drugs, put it simply, and he does it a lot. He does it a fuck ton, and shit starts to get real when the FBI start interrogating him. So he tries to move his money offshore with his wife's aunt and to, Finland. All that goes to shit when the aunt dies, so all of the money is locked in her account, and he can't get it. And then also, the guy from Finland comes to America and gets arrested, so it leads to him getting arrested and getting in a lot of trouble as well. And then he gets a divorce by Margot Robbie. She takes the kids, and he ends up teaching everybody how to be a stockbroker when he comes out of prison. Very similar, very, very similar story tropes to Catch Me If You Can. I will admit, it is the same fucking premise. He is, well, in Catch Me If You Can, he's faking it till he makes it, and he does fucking make it, but he's on the run from the FBI. This is very similar. He lies, he cheats, he stockbrokes, and he makes it, and then he's on the run from the FBI, and then in both movies, when he gets captured, he then works for the government. Wow, really good movies. Very, very similar, in the same 2 years as well, might I add. But anyway, this movie is absolutely adored by crypto bros, and absolutely adored by, business kids and all the stuff like that, because they're inspired by him. I don't have a fucking clue why. He sleeps around, neglects his wife, technically abuses his wife as well. He also tries to basically kidnap his own kids, and he does a fuck ton of drugs. He lives a somewhat lavish lifestyle, but it all goes to shit, and he is a very shitty person. I don't get why people admire him so much. I don't get it. I honestly don't. This movie is a comedy thriller, and I do admit the start of this movie, where he was setting up the company, was funny. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was great. There was a lot of good moments, a lot of interesting moments, and I don't understand what Margot Robbie's character was thinking in this movie, because he was cheating on his wife with her, and then when he's cheating on her with other people, I don't know why she's shocked. You know, he showed his true colors with you. Like, you know, understand that, see that. He's gonna do the exact same thing with you. That is just who he is. If if someone's cheating on someone with you, and then you get with them, they're gonna cheat on you. It's fucking basic knowledge. Like, come on, it's obvious. It's right in front of you. But anyway, the set design of this movie is pretty basic. It literally spends half his time on a yacht, or in his house, or in the office. There is not many places they visit in this movie, and for 3 hours staying in like a good 3-4 locations, it gets a little boring, it's a little similar. So they switch it up a little bit and try and have different characters and different interactions in some of these places. All the guys are quite funny. I will admit, like, they're just a group of guys having a good time. That's quite funny, you know, seeing a group of, it's basically like a podcast, what they were doing. It was quite amusing. And then the second half of the movie, I felt like he was a dick, and I started to resent him, and I started to hate him, and I didn't like him, because he was just being an asshole. He didn't really care for anyone else. He didn't really care for anyone other than money. He would even sell his soul for money. All he really cared about was the money, and yeah, he turned into a little bit of an asshole, and I really didn't like him by the end. And I think he deserved what was coming to him, so, you know what? Have at it. All the characters wore suits, so the costume design wasn't that good, wasn't that great. They were all pretty okay, pretty basic, nothing too extravagant. And there was a time skip between 18 years, and Leonardo DiCaprio actually looked like he got older after those 18 years, so you know what? I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty interesting how they did the time skip and he actually looked older. Everyone in business, in my business class anyway, referred to this movie and said that they wanted to be just like this man. I get that everyone can have their own dreams and aspirations, but please don't become like this man. He is an asshole, he is a dick, and he's really shitty. So don't be like this man. Don't be like him. It is not a good look. It is not a good goal. He's not a good role model or a good person to admire, to be fair. He's got a lot of money, but at what cost is all I'm going to say to you. He has the money, but at what cost does he get that money? Acting is on point. Margot Robbie is brilliant in this movie, and I do believe this was her first big movie. And she's been in another movie with Leonardo DiCaprio since this one. It is called Hollywood, and I am going to be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I am going to be taking a look at it in the next couple of days, so do stay tuned for that. And Leonardo DiCaprio, absolute brilliant actor. He does really well in this movie as well. He's always a fucking good actor, and he's always fucking good at this rich kid aesthetic. I don't get it. He's always really good at this rich kid sort of vibe, and this really sort of, oh, good sport. Oh, I'm rich. Fucking peasants. And he has this really good sort of attitude to him that sort of inspires you. Like, in the start of this movie, again, he was giving those inspiring speeches, and he's fucking good. Like, he is a good motivational speaker, and holy fucking shit. I was inspired at the start, but then, again, after seeing how this movie ended, I was like, holy shit, how is this guy anyone's role model? What the fuck? Have they not watched the entire movie? Like, come on. He can lift your spirits and get you riled up, though, as well. So, good motivational speakers can be assholes. That's all I'm saying. There is a lot of weird shit that happens in this movie. There is a lot of nudity in this movie, I will admit. I wasn't a huge fan of it, I'm gonna be honest. There was, like, a boob or an, like, you know, everything fucking every fucking 10 minutes. Like, it's worse than The Boys. I'll give it that. Like, watching The Boys is less nudity than in this movie. I mean, yes, there is, like, 3 hours of this movie, but, like, A Boys is 8 episodes So that's 8 hours. So comparing the two is pretty valid in my opinion. There is less nudity in 3 hours of The Boys than there is in this movie. You know what? There you go. There's your comparison. You know, I made it fair. You know what? It's a good movie. It's a good story, has a good message. Obviously, like, money isn't everything. Don't just drive after money. Don't be an asshole is another one. Like, you know, that should be common knowledge by now. Like, don't be a dick. And this just shows you what not to do. Like, this is like a good what not to do. I don't know why you'd need this to, like, know what not to do, but you have it now as a good what not to do. And I enjoyed this movie. I went into this, I was like, holy shit, it's a 3 hour long movie. I'm not going to enjoy this. I'm just going to waste my time. But I've seen loads of good things. This is like one of the best movies that I've ever heard about. People hype this movie up so much, and I can understand why. It's got a great story, it's got a great cast, it's got a great message, and it's funny as well. You're laughing, having a good time. For the first bit of it anyway, but that's how it gets you invested. That's how it gets you hooked. That's how it gets you intrigued. You have a good time at the start, and it gets you invested to the characters, interested in the characters, for it to lead you on to the second part, where obviously you're now invested in the characters, where it can start to take itself a little bit more seriously. It doesn't need to be as funny and as goofy as it was at the start, because it has you already hooked, and now it's going to hook, line, and sinker you into this really dark, sort of upsetting story, and it does take a big fucking twist, a big turn, and just really shows the true colours of these characters. So, other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I'll see you all next one. I hope you all have an excellent day, and this movie, it's a 9 out of 10.